And welcome to another live stream with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this sunny Friday afternoon. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I completely overlooked the time and was focused on some other things. I hope you all had a great week so far. Today's the last trading day, and then we jump or go into the weekend. Before we get into it, as always, before I forget it, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. And last but not least, all the tools that I'm using, so the strategy I'm using, the broker I'm using, the charting software I'm using, and so on, everything is linked in the description down below if you're curious to check it out. And with that, we can jump actually straight into it. And I'm going to share my screen. Now, will it disappear? Now it's gone. Okay, so first of all, my SPY options. Yesterday we talked about that we have two possibilities. Either that's in some form like 1, 2, and we'll get wave 3 down, or ABC, or this ABC is already finished here. Now, I'm not really happy with how far we retraced here. I actually expected that we would touch the 38.2 retracement because whenever we have a retracement, that's the, let's say, one of the usual levels or probable levels or regular levels. We don't always have to reach one of those, but it's based on probability, just one of the most likely cases. It looks like I was wrong here, so while it's still possible this is in some form A, B, or 1, 2, and we'll get a movement down, we see that we already exceeded the 100% target here. That's for wave C, a likely target area. That's the minimum target. That's the, let's say, in quotes, theoretical maximum target. So that makes it look like we're actually going to get another 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another all-time high in SPY, which means my options might actually expire worthless. There might not be much point. We're going to take a look at them real quick in option strat. Just a second. Save trades. Yeah, so now, theoretically, I could sell or buy back those options right now for, as we can see, $350 loss compared to waiting till expiry, where I would have to realize the entire $800 loss. Which, however, it leaves the question, is this indeed 1, 2? And now we get basically wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, which means I'd potentially maximize the loss since I have the 550 put and the 549 put, and we have to consider the premium. So my overall break-even point is somewhere around here. Or is there the possibility that in some form that's just a bigger ABC pattern and that we still get a push down and today finish lower? So as I said yesterday, I'm fine with those options expiring worthless. We don't want to close them early. Yesterday, I could have also closed them plus minus 0, for example, with a small profit at some point, with a small loss at some point. But the issue there is, if we don't believe in our trades, then we might end up cutting our winners short and realizing losses too soon. So I'm going to let this one play out. Although I also have to admit the more likely scenario right now is that at market close today, those options will be out of the money. Or if they're in the money, still in an area where it's not profitable. But there is still a decent, or right now the pattern is still not distinctive or clear enough to say, okay, we definitely are going to go higher here. I think one thing, we had an alert. I set an alert yesterday to get notified at 5:47. And we can see that it only then happened after hours, so after the market closed, which means there is no way to then close the option. If that would have happened yesterday during trading hours or so, I might have closed the position simply because yesterday, with one more day to go, it might have been at a small profit at least or so. But maybe I might have still held on to it. So, but right now at this point, I think it just is, doesn't make a huge difference. And if I close them now, chances are that if that turns out to be in some form only wave A, B, and we still get wave C, that I actually make the wrong decision. And on the other hand, as we move up, so if I'm proven wrong in quotes, which happens from time to time, closing it out makes even less sense because, I don't know, if we have a maximum of $800 risk, closing it out at a $600 loss just to then maybe see it drop a little bit down again, which would reduce the loss, just doesn't really make any sense in my opinion. Yeah. Anyway, so that's about that. So it's another option trade that probably will not turn out or pan out very well. Yeah, there we have some winners and some losers, just how the game goes. It's all about like that on average you're profitable. Now, other than that, jumping into GameStop. In GameStop, yesterday was the today's the 28th. So that's all today, and yet that's yesterday. So now that's yesterday, and here we jump into today. So yesterday we already reached, we had our stream around here. So we already reached the minimum target for this potential either A, B, C, or yeah, for 1, 2, 3, we didn't yet. We went into this area. And I mentioned in yesterday's stream, if I recall correctly, that this is the area where it becomes tricky. If we turn around here, we on one hand would fulfill the requirements for an A, B, C pattern, which would then be followed by another 5 waves down. On the other hand, we also fulfill the requirements for a minimum target hit on the most probable extension levels, so the 138.2, 161.8. I mean, the usual candidate would actually be the 261.8, but that's like I said, minimum targets. So it remains to be seen where we go from here. It's possible that this is basically 1, 2, and then in here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll now get wave 5 that pushes a little bit higher. We'll have to wait and see. I still believe we will not finish today above 30, which means that's one thing we want to check. So my $30 call option will or should expire out of the money. I just pocketed $200 premium, but I still get to keep my 400 shares, and which means we could then sell new call options, and we actually might rollover options. But roll 2 and then roll those to 5 and also to the $30 call. Do I have to, if I click OK here, what happens? Nothing. Where did the window go? Okay, it's still somewhere. Okay, let's try this again. Roll 2. And then to next Friday, still $30 call since we bought them at 30. And yeah, there's like, why does it not select them? Call option. Yeah, that just opens some detail page that I don't care about and cannot close. Okay, now I can close it, I guess. Okay, now it says, and if I say create orders, set limit price to ask. There's no middle option here. Okay, create orders would be selling 4 pieces at 0.66. Cost implication would be $259 for next week. Okay, so if we do that, why do it manually? Can I just put that together as a strategy? Close this. Okay, so if I say on one hand I'm gonna buy back, so can I do it in the strategy builder? But that probably doesn't go into the strategy builder. Okay, so for today we would buy back the $30 call option, and we would buy back 4 pieces of that. We can leave that here, and then we would sell the $30 call option for next week. And we would say 4 pieces, and we say mid price, and we get $65 per piece. If we do that today, how do I expect the movement? If we go up, we actually get less for the, no, get more for the $30 call option. So waiting a little bit. Gonna set that for minus 100, so to potentially get $100 per option, and so net, which means if the price moves up a little bit further, that might trigger, and we get basically more premium for next week, or secure more of the profit of those. So we're gonna transmit that as a combo deal. Now, if that triggers, we would get $400 more, so we would have almost free, which means we can sell another $30 put option, because I believe that next week we will be above 30. So for 522 that we can already do. Nope. one quantity, not 4. So it's within our margin requirements, so there we can go already. So we sell the, yeah, it's still margin compliant, so we are good here. So we have now the, and I have to add that in option strat. 1 second, I'm going to do that on the other screen. So cash secured put, GameStop for the 5th of July, $30, and we got 538.9 for that. Safe trade, and that's that. Few safe trades, and then we have in Theta Gang. There I also need to add that. So okay, then log out. Manage trade, open trade, GME, cash secured put, expiration next Friday, 30. We got it set for 538.9. It's a little less than we got last time, but still a good price, assuming the price goes further up, which would push the option out of the money. And here right now the average would be 65. Now question would be, if I do this now, I said, are we gonna do this now so we just have it done? Yeah, so I might miss out on a couple dollars, but we can try to get a little more. So let's say 66, for example. Okay. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know. I mean, we should reach. Yeah, now it triggered. Okay, we can see the arrows here for the orders that triggered. So what did we get for those? So I have to basically, we closed out the calls for today and we sold new calls. So now I need to update that as well. Okay, so profile, open, expiration. There we have our covered calls. So those we bought back for 5. Okay, so close trade for 0.05. And then we open the trade. GameStop covered call, expiration is also next Friday, also at 30 strike price. And we got 70 for those. So we had 4 of those and 0.70. So that should be that, which means now if I check my profile, I know you guys cannot see that part, but it's not that exciting. I'm just commenting to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So we would have still our SPY puts. And then for next week, we have 4 covered calls and that we sold and 1 cash secured put. And then we still have the grab call and we obviously have the shares. Okay, so that's good. And now in option strat, I still would need to, so we close the covered calls. Wait there, I need to go save trades, covered call, close trade. At 0.05. So and then we sold another. Yeah, the keeping track of all that stuff is not always that easy. So they already have the cash secured put, okay. And now we sold another covered call for the 5th at 30. And we sold it at, we should actually see here. So it says 0.691, okay. We sold actually 4 of those. So safe trade, few safe trades. So it now looks like this, that we have the covered call that we sold and where we got a total credit of 276.40. And then we have the cash secured put that we sold where we received $500. So if we stay below 30, we'll have 500 shares in total, but we overall pocketed another $800 in premium, which is not bad. And if we finish above 30, we just pocket the 500 something premium from here and get those shares called away for next week. So that works very well. So that can move over here, and then we don't have anything. So the SPY puts, yeah, but we're gonna let them run. I can delete that trade, so that's the combination, or maybe we can keep that. Expired, closed, sort by expiration. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. Then that's the chat up. So that's fine. And then the last thing to do is actually convert balances. So close all non-currency. Yep. So, and transmit. And with that, we basically have the cash to cover the covered put or the cash secured put if GameStop next week stays below 30, which I don't think will happen. And are pretty much yeah, fine. Now the overall performance this month is not as great as it was last month because like premiums were not that high, and overall we can see have to hide the account information, but even there you can see that basically we've been moving. I mean, for the month we're still up 20%. If we look 1 month back, we can see we're also up. However, if we year to date is a little bit misleading because we actually started trading here, so we would have to add 11%. We can see that from our high that we had on June 14th, we actually are gave back a little bit of our profits. And yeah, I mean, that's very, very short term, so we have to keep an eye on it. But overall, we're still up. I mean, technically, I started this account now 6 weeks ago with $10,500. There are now $12,800 in the account. Plus, on top of that, I have another 100 GameStop shares that I transferred out. So it's technically still around a 50%. It's actually really around 50% more than before. So net liquidation, 12,800 if I would liquidate everything right now. And plus another 100 shares of GameStop at 25, so it's $2,500 on top of that. So we're around like close to 15,000 in balance, which is almost a 50% return in 6 weeks, only through selling options or writing options. That's actually how it's called. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now that I don't want, go back, go away. Still waiting to see if our FIFA puts will eventually or calls, actually cover calls will eventually trigger. I only want to sell them at $80 because at $80 I'm getting my 200 shares for free. So we already got premium. So if I get $80, we have the 200 shares for free. And on top of that, if it then in that long time goes above the strike prices, it's still a 50% profit on the first 100 shares and a 100% profit on the second 100 shares. So while the absolute dollar amount will not be impressive, but considering the runtime, it's still gonna be great. Yeah, so right now FIFA also recovered a little bit. So if it goes a little bit, or FFIE, so I'm always mispronouncing Faraday Future Intelligent, yeah. So I'm always mispronouncing that a little bit, but if it goes up further, then I should have no problem filling that for $80. And with that, it would just be in quotes, long-term position a little bit, of course, but it would also mean that the position itself is for free, and no matter how it ends, I'd be at least break even. So as said, like with $80 premium from those, I would have my investment back just from the premiums. And if it actually goes further up, yes, I limit my upside, but I'm happy with that. But if it goes further up, I don't know, worst case scenario is it goes above 150 till the expiration date, and I basically would then pocket so $100, $250, yeah. So my maximum profit on that trade, if I get to sell or write those options, would be $250. Yeah, so it's not a huge amount, but considering the investment of originally $80, it's still a good return, especially since writing those two options would already get the entire investment back. Now, yeah, what else do we have for today? I think we're pretty much then already through with it. So if GameStop goes down right now, that would also be okay. But I assume we will finish the next week has set above 30. So yeah, like if we were to fall below, what's the low here? 24.71. Then it stands to reason that the ABC here is not finished, but that might be some kind of ABC. As mentioned, there's still the option that this is an ABC pattern, and right now we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would go down a little bit more for a couple of days. But then we would, in my opinion, continue the upward momentum. Yeah, so we'll just have to be patient here, and I will just continue to collect the option premiums every week, either based on selling put options if we are in cash, or based on selling covered calls if we are in shares. And I'm gonna wait for GameStop to actually go higher, because as you guys know, I still hold extra shares at Computer Share as well, that are more like a long-term thing. Yeah, anyway, so you might have heard the doorbell. We're actually getting visitors right now. So, or like a dog is visiting us. Yeah, so my favorite dog. So I'm actually gonna call it a day. If some unexpected strong movements happen, then I'll come back online later. Other than that, I wish you all a pleasant weekend. And we would then see each other potentially on Monday. I'm gonna check my calendar real quick just to make sure that, yeah, Monday works. So there will be a stream then on Monday. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss out on the next stream, since it's not always at a specific time. And then see you all then. Till then, bye-bye.